the business you have running here at the moment.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't sell cigarettes.
Tonight, Primetime Investigates goes inside Ireland's illegal cigarette trade to come face to face with smugglers making millions of euro every year at the expense of the Irish taxpayer.
We're looking for John Player, Lou. What kind of a price are we talking about?
Depends on quantity.
We confront those who use children to sell their counterfeit products.
And also the fact that you're using children to sell cigarettes.
Oh, no.
We go undercover to infiltrate the international criminals supplying illegal cigarettes.
That's the Irish duty stamp. Is that a problem?
No problem.
Thanks.
We reveal how smokers are increasing the risk to their lives with counterfeit products.
I'm not a smoker myself, but if I was a smoker, I certainly wouldn't smoke one of these.
And how smokers are funding criminal gangs and paramilitaries every time they buy a packet of cheap cigarettes.
This is a serious, evil crime being perpetrated against every citizen of this state.
Despite all the health campaigns, all the health warnings, and the fact that thousands of people in Ireland continue to die from smoking-related diseases, Irish smokers still consume 6.5 billion cigarettes every year. Surprisingly, a quarter of that number is smuggled into the country illegally. That's 1 in every 4 cigarettes. So what's the problem with the hard-pressed smoker enjoying a few cheap fags, especially when times are tough? Well, as you're about to find out, behind those few cheap fags is a supply chain that becomes increasingly sinister and evil with every link in that chain. Tonight, for the first time, we trace those links from the local market stall in your town or village all the way back to the factories in China, Hong Kong and Lithuania.
40 Benson's, please.
From the low-level sellers and smugglers
I come back in 14 and I bring more.
to the major criminals and terrorists who think nothing of cold-bloodedly murdering those who get in the way of their illegal activities. So if you want cheap cigarettes in Ireland, what do you have to do to get them? Well, in some cases, it's as easy as knocking on a neighbour's front door. This is Bernard Clark. He lives in 5 Hairlawn Green in Clondalkin, Dublin. He openly sells cigarettes from his house, and his business appears to be thriving. Over the past few months, we had no difficulty buying any amount of cheap smokes from Mr. Clark when we called to his front door.
How are you? 40 Benson's, please. Have you any of the pallets?
Yeah?
Could I have 40 on as well, please?
40 is it?
Yeah. Sure.
60.
Yeah, nice. That.
It was amazing, day after day, to watch an endless stream of people buy cigarettes from Clark. In fact, on one occasion, in less than 2 hours, more than 20 customers called to his door. Some people bought just 1 pack. Others bought larger quantities.
Yeah, I think it's 60 Jim Ling.
60 what?
In order to avoid prosecution, many of those involved in this business use young children to sell their products, and Bernard Clark is no exception. On one occasion, a child who was no more than 10 or 11 years of age sold us cigarettes.
It's 4 for 1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In reality, a child can't make a decision to commit an offence when they're that young. It's the adults who are behind them that should be targeted by ourselves. What they're essentially doing is that they're breeding the next generation of criminal.
2 weeks ago, we called to Bernard Clark's house to confront him about his illegal cigarette business.
I wanted to talk to you about the business you have running here at the moment from your house.
I used them when I was talking about them. We got raised last week and we haven't had them since.
Well, you were selling them this morning because you sold a packet to our colleague this morning.
Me?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you filling me in now?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
There's something like. I don't sell cigarettes.
You just told me a couple of minutes ago you did sell
I
cigarettes
don't
there.
sell cigarettes here.
You told me that
I
you
just
were
told
raided
you,
a few
I
minutes
told
ago.
you I don't sell. I used to. I don't sell them anymore. So.
So you're denying it completely?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're denying you ever sold cigarettes. Okay. Do you have anything to say for inclusion in the programme that we're doing about this?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Fine, that's no problem, Bernard. Thanks a million.
Bernard Clark's customers might think he's doing them a favour and doing them no harm by selling a few cheap smokes. That's simply not true. We had samples of his cigarettes analysed. We compared the results with a legitimate brand which we used as a base sample. The results were frightening. But Bernard Clark is just the bottom rung of the ladder. As you're about to find out, the illegal cigarette dealers we came face to face with get bigger and bigger on each step of the ladder.
What currency do you want payment in dollars?
And as their business gets bigger, the stakes increase.
The top quality down there wouldn't be the best one there.
So how is Ireland such a lucrative destination for the illegal cigarette smuggler? Well, there are a number of reasons.
Quality at the right price.
Over the years, it could be argued successive governments here contributed to the problem by repeatedly increasing taxes on tobacco products.
I propose also to increase the level of excise duty on tobacco as follows. 4p per packet of 20 cigarettes.
By 10p per packet of 20.
Of 10 pence per 20 cigarettes.
By the equivalent of 50 cents per packet.
By 50 cents per packet of 20.
Excises on cigarettes will go up 50% per packet of 20.
As a result, Ireland has the highest level of excise duty on cigarettes in Europe. Combine that with figures from the Office of Tobacco Control, which shows smoking is most prevalent among the less well-off and the unemployed, the two groups who can probably least afford to smoke. The huge profits and lack of risk associated with cigarette smuggling when compared with drug smuggling is another attraction for the criminals involved.
The importation of drugs carries a mandatory sentence. If you're caught with X kilos of cocaine, you go down for 8, 9, 10 years. It's mandatory. That's not been replicated in the prosecution cases taken on cigarette smuggling.
All this has made Ireland an extremely lucrative location for smugglers who deal in illegal and, more often than not, counterfeit cigarettes.
We've contraband and we have counterfeit. The contraband ones are genuine product which are smuggled in. The counterfeit ones are made without the manufacturer's approval and smuggled in. The vast majority of counterfeit cigarettes come from China. There's not a day in the week that there's not a seizure made in the member states.
The illegal cigarette trade in Ireland is massive. Over 1.5 billion cigarettes are being brought into Ireland and sold on our streets. The Exchequer are losing in excess of €500 million each year, and it's growing.
To put it in context, that €500 million would cover the running costs of more than 1,300 acute hospital beds for a whole year.
This is not a Robin Hood type of crime where we take from the rich to help the poor. The criminal organisations behind this use the profit from the cigarette smuggling to fund the smuggling of drugs into the EU, trafficking of women, and even funding of terrorism.
Back to our illegal cigarette sellers, and you saw how one individual runs his business from his front door. As we move up the ladder, sellers become a bit more sophisticated. Take Mick, for example, who uses handwritten leaflets. He delivers them door to door. He also sticks them on cars outside Mass on Sunday. We got this one from a car in Cork. Mick was offering a wide variety of well-known brands at half the normal retail price. It seemed like an offer too good to refuse, so we gave him a call.
Hiya, is Mick around? Hiya, listen, I was just wondering, is there any chance of a few cigarettes? I'm looking for 400 John Player. Alright, okay, that's no bother. Thanks a million. Bye bye.
A few hours later, and Mick and his partner arrived to deliver the goods. It was the first time we dealt with Mick, and he wasn't taking any chances. So he stayed in the car, and he sent his partner to the door instead.
Did you order cigarettes, no?
Oh yeah, well I didn't see it, but
Yeah.
it's not here at the moment.
Oh, it's not here.
Oh yeah, have you got the cigarettes?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, they're grand.
Two was it?
John Clare Blue or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, I don't know where.
72.
Grand, yeah, okay, I just left the money here again.
What
else have you got? Have you got Silkwood?
No, just Score Classic or John Player Blue. Silverking Blueberry Times.
Right. 72.
Right, so thanks.
Alright, thanks very much.
Right.
During the past 6 months, we carried out almost 100 test purchases of cheap cigarettes right across the country. Most were sold to us as Irish brand names. However, when we asked one manufacturer to have a look at them, it turned out more than 90% were counterfeit.
A lot of them had been packed by hand, which would indicate that they have originally come from China. Due to the unregulated nature of the ingredients of counterfeit cigarettes, it is not uncommon to find unusual ingredients. Horror stories, used and bloody plasters inside cigarettes that have been made by hand, rat poo, cow dung, commonly reported being found in cigarettes.
So where do the billions of illegal cigarettes that are sold in Ireland every year actually come from? Well, that's the next step on the ladder. And for that we turn to the internet, where there are numerous classified ads on Irish websites offering cheap cigarettes. Using the alias Martin and posing as a potential customer, we replied to one of the ads. A couple of days later, a woman by the name of Georgina from Eastern Europe arranged to meet and sell us cigarettes in Dublin city centre.
Martin?
Yeah,
Hello,
Georgina. Hi,
nice
how
to
are
meet
you?
you.
How are you?
Sorry, I'm
That's
not
okay,
sure.
no problem.
Okay, so
How
I
are
got
you?
your things. So
Okay, that's grand. That's 135, is that right?
Yeah.
I have friends.
Look, if you know anybody, if
That's
somebody
right.
wants 10 together, I can give one for free, okay?
Okay, I have friends that are looking for cigarettes. Would you be able to get them? Do you have them on a regular
Of course, I
basis?
have more 15 at the moment.
Okay.
And I come back in 14 and I bring more, so if
Right,
you...
but do you have any other cigarettes? Can you get other cigarettes?
If you tell me the list, I
Yeah.
can try to find in Hungary because there is different kind of brand, but this is the most wanted, so that's what I bring.
Okay, that's no problem. There you
Okay,
go.
so-
I'll give you a shout. I have your mobile number, so I can give you a call. A1. Okay.
Okay,
Thanks
so
very
if
much.
anybody wants 10 together, or you can
Yeah.
sell it, so
Sell
I
10.
give you one
You
for
give me
free,
one free for
you know.
10.
Georgina is an ant smuggler. The term refers to small-time operators who travel in and out of the country bringing cigarettes with them every time. She buys genuine cigarettes in Hungary, then smuggles them into Ireland before selling them at a profit. During a subsequent call to Georgina, we discovered she flies between Hungary and Dublin almost every week. She told us she could bring up to 10,000 cigarettes at a time.
Hello.
Georgina, hi. It's Martin Phillips. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I was saying to you the last time I was talking to you, I was hoping to get some more cigarettes. I have a few friends.
Yeah.
I was looking for 400 Marlboro and 200 Lucky Strike and 200 Dunhill.
I go home tomorrow, so let's see.
When will you be back?
Probably 1 week.
Will you text me or ring me maybe when you're back in Dublin?
Okay, perfect.
On the surface, Georgina might appear to be a harmless individual trying to make a few euros selling cheap cigarettes. The problem is, she's just one of hundreds of ant smugglers doing exactly the same thing. In fact, customs officers seize 500,000 cigarettes a week in Dublin Airport from small-time players like Georgina. That's 26 million cigarettes a year, resulting in a loss of €10 million to the Exchequer.
What we call ant smuggling, an individual is paid a sum of money to carry a case of cigarettes through customs. They're getting between 100 and 125 euros for a trip. They only get paid if they get through. A courier with 10,000 cigarettes, taking into account all costs, the net profit would be between 1,300 and 1,500 euro.
Customs officers in Dublin Airport regularly set up specific operations to target ant smugglers.
Chap in a denim jeans here over against the wall. Successful operation we had this morning. We put one organiser and another courier, as we thought, under surveillance, allowed to run through customs and into the airport, where they carried out some counter surveillance